Moto Menace. Here we go. Going pretty fast. Okay. Okay. Not that fast. It might just be, oh, side of the vehicle. Find the escape. Find the escape. Good job with the braking. Good job with the braking. So when it comes to doing this, okay, we're getting up to here. Okay, you can't see too much. This is a 360 video. It's going to be on his handlebars. That's why it's kind of like this. Okay, we're coming up to here, and as soon as you see this side of the vehicle, he rev bombs. Okay, so side of the vehicle, this is going to be automatic orange stage. We're coming up to an intersection. We see it. Remember, what we're trying to do is position for safety, locate hazardous situations. That's an orange stage. Assessing if this is a relevant threat. That's still orange stage. The moment he keeps coming out, that car keeps coming out, we have to navigate. It's now an active threat. This is going to be a big problem here. So what we need to be doing is finding that escape path, because our total stopping distance is basically this. And if you don't know what total stopping distance is, basically we perceive, react, and then how long it takes for us to actually brake. So he perceived the hazard, but we reacted with a rev bomb, and we reacted with progressive braking. Okay, so that's what we did do, because he did slow down. So he did have progressive braking. But when you rev bomb, you're removing power to the rear wheel by pulling that clutch and giving it a throttle. So what we should be doing is actually rolling off the throttle and applying front brake pressure and rear brake while trying to downshift. Okay, I know it's a lot, but if we're able to do this, we could do that. And what that does is helps with engine braking. Plus, when you get to finally the slow down part, you're in the right gear. So there's a lot going on. You get better and better and better with more and more practice out in the parking lot with the Smart Rider drills and everything. But right here, we also need to be looking for an escape path. Okay, an escape path here. Okay, we don't have much. We do have, looks like a curb here, so we can't really jump up on it. I'm not too sure, but he's going to come up to here and found the escape. Now, if we stayed off to the right, would have hit the back of the vehicle, so it did move off. We could probably jump this if we had to up into the dirt, but still, having an escape is super important, because look at that. That's pretty good. Okay, we have good line of sight. We have a decent space cushion, but we have an escape right there, and that's part of plan. That's part of positioning for safety. So you got to go for it. Got to be aggressive on it, but did have to go into red stage. All right, MT-07, Mad Max in Belgium. Okay. Whoa, good job with the swerve. You saw that. Good job with the swerve. Let's take a look at that one real quick. So we're coming up to here. We can't see around this vehicle too well, okay, but we have a good space cushion, so part of planning our ride is positioning for safety. So I would like to be off to the left a little bit more right here. So that's kind of important to me. Is this really like green? I don't think that's green. It looks kind of green. Let's go ahead and make sure. One sec, let's make sure. That's why. There we go. Had the wrong pen out. All right, so I like to be off the side so I have good line of sight and so I can see around everybody. That's a big thing for me. Uncommon thing, our person in front of us is swerving out of the way. Now it's our turn. Okay, uncommon, we're going to be in orange stage. Don't know what's going on. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's the MTC awareness stages. That's unit 1 in the basic Smart Rider course. We get up to here, start to have a little bit of a panic, reach the front brake, but we are doing a swerve. We switched into red stage super quick. Thank you, Michael, for the donation. Was able to get out of the way. So in a situation like this, we might have had to swerve and accelerate versus swerve and brake, because we need to get out of the way at that point. We need to accelerate through, get ourselves in a better position. I have not been on a bike a number of years, but enjoy your channel. It actually saved me from an open lane accident with my car yesterday. Michael with the $5 donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, he's got a quad lock. Pretty cool. All right, we're coming up to here. Intersection, orange stage, prepped and ready. Side of the vehicle. Don't know what they're doing. We're going to have to swerve out of the way because we switched into red stage during that. So right here, we're going into the intersection, prepped and ready. Okay, remember, planning our ride, locating hazardous situations. Intersections are hazardous situations. We have to assess if there's any relevant threat. We have a side of the vehicle coming up. Not good. Side of the vehicle. Now we got to navigate if it becomes a threat. Because right now, it's not a threat. It's not in our path of travel. We're doing fine. Doing fine. Oh, it's in our path of travel. So now we're going to switch into red stage. Okay, he's going to keep going. Got to do something. Now, where's our escape? So part of positioning for safety is constantly finding escape paths. Well, we have a decent median off to the left. That's exactly what they did. They took it. You hear the acceleration. So it's not braking and swerving. He's actually accelerating and swerving to get himself out of there. Good job. Now we got to get back into our lane because we don't know if any vehicles are going to come into here and then head-on collision with us. Okay, now slow it back down. Get back to the speed limit because at a higher rate of speed, if anybody else comes out, now we're at a high rate of speed and a side of the vehicle. Let's get back to our speed, reset. So if anything else comes up, we're ready.
Hey, this looks familiar, huh? Yeah, we're in orange stage. Right now, we're going through an intersection. I don't want anybody hitting me, and I am looking for the road surface hazards, maintaining my space cushion. I'm going to increase it even. I don't have a great escape path, but I'm nice and away from this vehicle. I don't like it too much, though. I'm going to roll up the throttle, and now I'm going over here, so I'm staggered with them. If you noticed, orange stage, there's a lot of actions going on to just kind of position yourself better. You're not swerving, you're not emergency braking, you're just, you're paying attention. And the goal with the orange stage is to reestablish your space cushion, to reestablish your position for safety, to get yourself in a better area so that you can get back into yellow stage. And so I use the cooking example. Yellow stage, you're at the grocery store, you're grabbing all the stuff, you have your list, you could take your time, you're not paranoid, you're listening to music, enjoying yourself, saying hi to everybody, relaxing. Go ahead, turn left here. And then all of a sudden you have to get back into the kitchen, and here we go. We're going to be, rushing through things. We're going to make sure that we have things in the right order. We're prepping ourselves. We got the table set up. So when we're in orange stage, which is what I'm doing right now, is that because I'm in an intersection, intersections are orange stage, we have to look for these hazardous situations. We have to see, hey, are we going to be boiling over? No. I mean, do we have gravel on the road? I don't see anything right here for my whole path. Anybody coming up behind me? Yes, we have one person behind me. Coming up, but I'm paying attention. I'm off to the side. Okay, now we have to figure out, when I get to the other side, are we safe? Are we good? So this is that little bit of a paranoid situation, but it's not that bad. You get used to it. So when it comes to this orange stage, it's just to get you in that mindset of you're switching from, hey, I'm zoned in, relaxing, listening to music, maybe just, chatting with my buddies, to, hey, everyone calm down. I'm turning down the radio. I need to find that parking space. That's all we're doing. We're taking our brain, we're taking all the cognitive overload and just reducing it to the point where we're focused. So there's another example of, you're staring at the screen right now, you're staring at my head, but what's over here? You have to change your focus to my hand. Usually you could just use your peripheral vision for everything around me, but you're staying focused on me. Let me say hi to this guy. There you go. So if you have to use your peripheral vision, that's like yellow stage. You're just kind of using everything. You can see everything, but once you're like, hey, I got to focus, that's orange stage. And that's what we're doing here. We're focused at intersections. We're focused at finding escape paths. We're focused on accelerating if we have to. We have our hands over the brakes. We're covering our brakes. Might even roll off the throttle a little bit so we get some weight on that front tire because we're getting some engine braking going. We're doing anything and everything possible to prepare ourselves in case we have to go into red stage.
Anton Doomhouse. Oh, you got to stop. You didn't stop. You gonna stop right here? Okay. Hey, we got some off-roading. Look at the road surface hazards. The road looks terrible. What are we gonna do here? Guest lodge. Okay, he's going to the guest lodge. Whoa! Going a little too fast. All right, here we go. Lane filtering. Don't recommend lane filtering with semis. Ooh. Don't recommend doing that. You see how there was like a jostle? He didn't hit anything. That was a panic brake. Don't be lane filtering and lane splitting with semi trucks, guys. Don't do that. Bikers e-fans. Here we go. Going pretty fast. There's an open lane position right there. Okay. If you don't know what an open lane position is, let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is a common merging issue. Very common merging issue. So we have an open lane right here, right in front of us. We have the best spot. We love it. We want to be in those positions because we have good line of sight. Well, guess what? So do other vehicles, and also other vehicles are impatient. Hey, guess what? So are you. Okay, if you're stuck behind a vehicle, you're going to want to get into the open spot. So since you know you do that, assume somebody else will, and assume that they're not going to look. You typically should be looking in your blind spots, but others don't. So we're getting up to here. We have this vehicle with a quick little brake, and it's like, screw this, I'm going. They're going to come into our lane. Now that offers us an opportunity to crash. So this is our total stopping distance. This is not good. Okay, we have to stop in this time or slow down in this time. But thankfully, they're moving. We're moving. We can kind of just maybe not hit each other. It's gonna be kind of scary, but at the same time, we should be looking for escapes. But what I'm trying to get to the point here is that when we see a pattern like this, where it's open for us and there's a long line for somebody else, and our lane's moving quicker, or it's just open, more than likely they will jump out in front of us. So the whole time I see these open lane patterns, I'm looking for escapes. I'm just constantly looking for escapes. They can come out at any moment. They can shoot out in front of me, and there's not going to be a total stopping distance that's appropriate. Or they could be shooting out in front of me where it's just not a big deal. But more than likely, they're going to be shooting out in front of me. and I have to have an escape already in place. And that's part of planning your ride. So make sure you guys plan your ride. So escape, that's considered an escape. Look at that right there. We would have hit them if we didn't do anything. Yamaha R1. Big trailer, they didn't see you. Good job with the braking, though. Good job with the braking. So that was really good progressive braking right there. So we're kind of seeing the distracting injury or the distracting vehicle, which is going to be this truck and trailer right here. So we're going, not a big deal. And then boom, all of a sudden that white vehicle pops out. So this is the moment that we need to be like, not good. We should be in orange stage anyways, but if this person continues to go, we're going to have to go into red stage. And what we can do here is good progressive braking, which is squeezing that front brake until you get some traction, some weight transfer to that front tire, and then you can give it some more and more and more and more. Because we got to watch out here. This is our total stopping distance at this point. Not very good because this vehicle is going to come out and we're going to run into him if we just keep going. We can also find an escape path, but this is a great example of progressive braking. Ay, ay, ay. All right, we're in Lithuania. There's the side of the vehicle. Swerve, found the escape, almost hit the other vehicle, but we did find an escape. Let's take a look at this. So we're coming up to here. This is going to be an orange stage situation. We do have an intersection with traffic, path of travel violation possibilities. We're covering the brakes. We're lowering our speed just a little bit. Let's say 2 miles an hour. That's going to allow some weight transfer. That front tire gives you some engine braking, gives you some opportunities to do whatever it is you need to do. We see this person coming out. We don't know if they're going yet because we have a line of sight issue now. Okay, it's all happening quickly, but you have to make decisions quickly too. That's why we're breaking it down scene by scene basically here. So right now we have good. We can go, but we don't know if that person's going. Now they are. Okay, now we got to make decisions. So when I'm in a intersection, orange stage, because we're planning our ride, locating hazardous situations, I'm already covering the brakes. I'm not now going onto the brakes. I'm covering the brakes. So now all I have to do is squeeze gently. Just squeeze it and then press a little bit on that rear brake. So now what I'm doing is going into red stage because they're in my path of travel. So I'm going to apply good progressive braking because I can't swerve too hard to the left, and the braking is going to buy me some options and buy me some time to now look for my escape path. Typically right here, escape path is going to be where you went because if you try to go to the right, you're going into them. So going into the middle, like a lane filtering position, is really good. So go ahead and apply some brakes and then swerve yourself into that. And that's exactly what happens here. Would have hit him. Would have been an impact if it did not find that escape path. So great job, Vejas with a J. Whatever. Good job, though. All right, everybody, we're going to be talking about essential gear for new motorcycle riders. Okay, we're going to go over 5 different points, and it's going to be investing in quality helmet, wearing sturdy non-slip gloves, okay, because we want to have better grip and protection, getting a durable jacket with armor, choosing riding boots that cover your ankles because that's pretty big. You don't want to remove your foot in a crash or even when you step down and twist your ankle because that would suck having to ride home. And then we're going to be talking about wearing protective pants to safeguard your legs and kind of more like a why. I think a lot of you guys understand that you have to get some gear and you need to understand kind of what it is. Okay, so I'm going to be talking mainly about where the armor points are and why I like them, how-tos, how to buy them, all that stuff. You can easily go to Revzilla or a different outfitter and kind of look for the kind that you want. I mean, there's Icon gear, Climb gear, the Reacts gear. There's just so many different brands, so many different things that you can do. So we're going to just be talking real briefly about this. And so here's the thing. So for number one, you need to invest in a quality helmet. Okay, you really need to invest in a quality helmet. Now, we talk about traumatic brain injuries all the time. That's when your brain kind of sloshes around. Concussion is a traumatic brain injury. Getting a bullet through the brain is a traumatic brain injury. So it's kind of like a sliding scale of like severity, and different helmets can protect you. So, I mean, you got the ECE helmets, DOT helmets, Sharp helmets, Snell helmets. Those are all ratings. ECE is European, DOT is the United States. They all have different criteria, but basically at the end of the day, it's meant to actually showcase that there is a standard. ECE is going to be pre-market, and so what that means is that in order for those helmets in Europe to be on the market before you can buy it, that they have to be tested by the government. So that's really good. DOT, on the other hand, is post-market. So DOT, so basically the government will randomly check thousands and thousands of different kinds of helmets a year, and they don't really do a good job of it. I think one year I heard that they tested 10 helmets, and that depends also on different sizes. So one helmet could have 5 sizes. Guess what? They tested 5. So they pretty much tested 2 different brands, 2 different kinds of helmets with 5 different sizes that one year. Don't quote me on that, but I remember reading about it, and it's true to me. So I always get an ECE helmet. I always get a full face helmet. So there's different kinds of helmets. So you can get a half helmet, which barely covers your head, 3/4 helmet, or an open face helmet, doesn't protect your face. Modular helmets, they are full face and they can flip up into a 3/4 or an open face helmet. I like full face helmets, and I also like modular helmets, mainly because of that full face protection, but then you have the ability to flip it to a open face helmet when you're stopped at a light, or when you go inside to get something to drink, or if you want to take a break without taking your helmet off. So make sure you guys grab a full face helmet. Very, very, very important. Protect your airway, protect your brain from having more of a severe traumatic brain injury. And also it protects your eyeballs and protects your hearing if you have some earplugs, and your eyeballs will have that face shield. Hopefully it'll protect you from getting bugs in the eyes or rocks in the face. Anyways, number 2, okay, so wear sturdy non-slip gloves. Okay, so you want to have gloves for better protection and grip. So gloves are really important because when you get sweaty hands when you're riding, let's say you get nervous or sweaty palms, they can slide off your hand grips. That's no good. I like to have that tactile feel. So, I mean, it really just protects your hands for the most part. Your palms really protects them. I mean, if you think about, pulling on a rope without gloves and it slips from your hands, it's going to give you a rug burn. When it comes to riding on a motorcycle and you have slippery hands and the hand grip slip from you, you're either going to accidentally rev it too much, which will cause you to accelerate too hard, or you'll drop the throttle and it's going to cause engine braking, or your hands are going to straight up slip off when you're in the middle of a turn, and that's not good. So having that tactile feel, having that grip is really important. But then also the protection, okay, knuckle protection. Okay, so they have like thermoplastic inside some of these gloves. So on the knuckles, they do have perforated gloves, so you have airflow. They have gauntlet style, which basically goes all the way, like up into your forearm, kind of like a gauntlet from medieval times. That helps protect a little bit more of the wrist, especially if you're able to tighten it. Some gloves are made of leather, some gloves are made of just hard plastic, and there's a bunch in between. Basically, look for something within your price range. I like wearing short cuff because it's so hot out here. I like to have the airflow, and it's just much easier for me to handle. But a lot of people like riding with gauntlet gloves. Those are really good, and those are required on track days and stuff like that anyway. So it's up to you. Pick out the gloves that you like. Look for reinforced stitching, so like almost double stitching throughout everything. That's really important. And just play around with it. You can get a good pair of gloves anywhere between $40 to $100, and you can go higher and lower than that. Just go ahead and check them out. Check out Cycle Gear, Revzilla, all those other places. You want to get a jacket. Okay, so when we talk about jackets and pants and everything like that, it's really within the riding season. Okay, we talked about full face helmets, and the full face helmet I wear no matter what season it is. Gloves, I wear the same gloves no matter what season it is, unless it's super cold. I do have a pair of gauntlet gloves that are not perforated for super cold days. But for the most part here in Southern Arizona, I just wear the short cuff. With the jacket and pants, I typically wear perforated textile jackets and pants. And that's because down here where it's super hot, I want that airflow. And it doesn't get super cold. And so what I do is I layer up. So I have like Under Armour cold gear. You can find motorcycle specific kinds, but I like Under Armour. It's pretty cheap. Get good sales outlets and everything. And I prefer to layer up. So if it gets super, super cold, I wear the Under Armour cold gear. I wear a t-shirt over it. And if I have to, I'll wear a hoodie. And then I'll wear my motorcycle jacket on top of that. You can get 3-season, 2-season, winter, or summer. It all depends, type of jacket and pants. Winter stuff is really, really good. If it's super cold, if it's snowing for you, getting something that's heated, so electrically heated, and that's going to bring that external temperature or external heat to you versus you having to create your own. It keeps it in. So that's really helpful. Might want to check that. So really just kind of figure out what kind of weather that you're going to be riding in. At the end of the day, though, the main goal is abrasion resistance. So you want to have gear that's abrasion resistant, and typically motorcycle specific jackets are abrasion resistant. Armor. Okay, so you want to have armor in the shoulders, Armor's in the elbows, and you want to have armor on your back. Okay, some motorcycle jackets, when you buy them, they should have the armor in them. They should have at least elbow and shoulder. If not, you can always buy some more. You can actually buy some of that armor and put it in yourself, so make sure it has armor slots for them. But most jackets don't come with back armor. It usually comes with like a back pad, like padding. And it's like a gray pad foam. It's just there for comfort, not there for impacts. So you're gonna have to look for actual back armor. I believe it's EN 1621-2 is the rating for the back armor. So check that out. I like D30 armor. It's that orange stuff. I just think it looks cool. There's some new armor out there that are a lot thinner. You might want to check those out. So when it comes to pants, okay, well, actually, let's talk about boots. Let's talk about pants. All right. When it comes to pants, it's kind of the same thing as the jackets. Now you're just covering your lower legs. The only real differences here is that you're going to have hip armor instead of like back armor. So you want, like I said, seasonal gear if you can afford it. If not, I prefer getting perforated gear and then layering up. It doesn't necessarily always help because of the wind. The cold wind can get through the perforations. So that's why sometimes having heated or winter style gear that won't allow airflow is good. But yeah, so you're going to have knee armor typically on gear. So knee armor is really important. So make sure you try it on, see how it fits, squat in it, sit down on it. Because sometimes when you sit down, your knee armor will be down in your shin or up on your thighs. You want to make sure it's in the right spot and make sure it fits for you. It fits you well. Nowadays, they do have more of the stretchy feel, elastic type pants and jackets. And back when I first started, they didn't have that. So it was really difficult to get pants with big legs and a smaller waist. And so you typically had to get like stuff with big waist and big legs. So it might be difficult for you to find stuff here, but hopefully with the elastic type stuff, it makes it a little bit easier. I like wearing suspenders. Belts are okay. I don't want to have like a hard buckle on the front of me in a crash. Suspenders are just kind of keep them in place. So hip armor. Typically, motorcycle pants don't have slots for hip armor. I think it's very important. So if you find motorcycle pants with hip armor slots in it, great. If it comes with it, even better. If not, I highly recommend filling those slots with actual armor for the hips. Your buttocks should have abrasion-resistant material because that's where you typically slide. Same thing with the knees and the hips. So hopefully it's reinforced. So if you see perforations and like air flow like anywhere else, that's typically fine for the most part. But the buttocks, hips, and knees. So when it comes to boots, you want to have something that protects your ankles and covers your ankles. It's very important to have that. But you can have shin high, super shin high boots, and that's going to help protect rocks from hitting your shin. You can have regular just motorcycle shoes, which kind of look like Converse or Vans for the most part, or any other kind, but it's going to be below the ankle. They work well. Their main purpose there is just to keep your shoe on, so when it crash, it doesn't just fly off. It protects the bottom of your foot, so it's usually non-slip, which is important when you put your feet down at a stoplight or something. They do have a mid-shank sole, typically, and that's going to allow your foot not to collapse on the peg. That's very important. They're going to have, hopefully, some kind of toe protection, maybe some reinforcements here and there, but for the most part, those shoes don't do too much. So that's why I recommend above the ankle, because it's going to help protect your ankle from rotating when you put your foot down accidentally or something like that. Shin high, like I said, protects you from rocks getting hit in your shin, which can cause fractures. It can cause breaks. It can cause soft tissue injuries, and it could just be very painful. So you got to be very careful with that. So make sure you focus on getting a good full face helmet. Pick the right season jackets and pants. Make sure you get gloves that fit the season for you. I like short cuff, but you can get gauntlet. And then when it comes to the boots, I prefer boots over shoes. I prefer shin high boots over just regular ankle boots. But make sure you get that gear. You should have a set of gear. It should last you a while. Everything typically lasts about 5 years, except for gloves. Gloves typically last about a year, maybe 2. Jackets, pants usually last about 3 to 5. Helmets last about 5, depending how often you ride. And then the boots, depending on how often you walk in them, you tear them up, you don't take care of them and everything, should last you about 3 to 5 also. So with that said, that's the essential gear for new motorcycle riders. Make sure you guys follow me here on After the Ride, and we'll talk later.